What if I told you that one simple practice that you can start right here, right now, can absolutely change your life? And not only that, it can change your brain. I'm talking about being present. When we can be mindful and be in the present moment, we are physically changing our brain. The concept called neuroplasticity allows for that change to happen, and in today's episode we're going to dive deep into what actually happens in the brain when you choose to be present and in the very present moment. Welcome to this channel. My name is Marta. I am a mindset coach and I am so happy to have you here. Subscribe to this channel and share this channel with those that you love or those that you think this might be beneficial to. And I'm very, very grateful for every subscription, for every subscriber out there, because I know that you are on the path of the self-development, you are on the path of learning who you are and finally looking yourself in the mirror and actually loving who you are. So I honor you. I appreciate you for being here, because I know it takes so much courage to actually do this work, to actually listen and be able to go within and actually be courageous enough to look within. So let's dive into today's episode. I'm very excited to share with you neuroplasticity behind being present and practicing mindfulness. When we focus on the present moment, our brain undergoes changes thanks to this concept of neuroplasticity. Today we know that our brain is able to change and create new neural pathways throughout our life. We used to think that our brain develops up until the age of 25, and that's kind of that we are doomed. And then after that, we don't really change. But today we know, and science shows, that our brain is constantly undergoing changes depending of what we feed our brain with, depending of how we go about our life, depending of our environment, how we talk to ourselves, how we see the world. So this is great news, because you can start rewiring your brain and changing your brain today. And that's so exciting, because what we think is what we are. What we think is how we manifest in our world. What we think is very much correlated to what we see our reality like and what is manifesting in our reality. So I'm super excited to share this with you today. The prefrontal cortex is a part of our brain that's responsible for being focused, for decision making, for self-control. And when we practice mindfulness, this part of our brain is trained to be more present, to stay more focused, to pursue our goals, to go after what we want in life. Because to learn anything and to pursue anything in life, we have to learn to be present. We have to learn to be focused. And when we practice mindfulness, our prefrontal cortex is physically changing and it's strengthened by practicing being in the present moment. The amygdala is a part of our brain that's responsible for our emotional reactivity or emotional processing, usually connected to stress and anxiety. When we live in anxiety and stress, over time our amygdala is overactive. So therefore we become hypervigilant, we become stressed. We project into our life those feelings and emotions and thoughts around fear and around stress. So therefore it's like a cycle of our amygdala being overactive, so we see things differently. Our brain is sending signals to us to let us know that there is threat when amygdala is overactive. By being present and by practicing being mindful, being in the present moment, we are calming down our amygdala, which means that over time we will wake up in the morning and we feel peaceful. We don't look out for a threat. We are more aligned. We are more calm. We can sustain our calmness, especially in those moments of challenges, especially in the moments of where life gets the best of us. When we can train our brain to calm down and amygdala starts to be more balanced, we are more balanced. And the practice of mindfulness and being present can do just that. And it can physically change your brain to be more resilient, to be more at peace, to be more ready for whatever challenges life has to bring. Mindfulness practice can also strengthen the connection between our prefrontal cortex and those other regions of our brain which are responsible for emotional regulation. That means that when we can be present, we are actually creating a better, calmer brain overall, which means that our emotional regulation can take place and we are not constantly anxious and constantly on overload. Our brain can slow down and those connections can be strengthened between the prefrontal cortex and the other regions responsible for our emotional response and our emotional regulation. So that means that we can go about life with more peace, and that means that we can make better decisions. Because every time that we are making decisions from this place of emotional overload, or we make decisions emotionally, those decisions often are not good decisions because we have not taken the time, we have not taken the perspective, we have not really allowed ourselves to sit with the decision, to actually make a right decision for you, tuning into your heart, tuning into your own wisdom of where you need to go in life. So it's so important to practice mindfulness, to allow yourself to be in the present. By focusing on the present moment, we also create new synapses in our brain, which means these are the connections between our neurons. And what it does, it helps to foster more calm, more focused, healthy approach to life, and of course, more healthy brain, because that promotes a better, calmer, more focused state of mind. So by creating those new synapses, we are actually changing our brain, and doing this over time will literally change your life. This will literally change how you see the world. It will change how you go about problems in life. You will feel more resilient. You will feel more ready for whatever changes come your way, whatever challenges, whatever upheavals come your way. You'll be more ready to conquer those because your state of being and your baseline of how you are and how you see the world is calm and peaceful. And it's so much better and easier to go about life, to conquer those challenges, to go out of your comfort zone, to pursue this new goal that you have set yourself. It's so much easier to do that from the place of calm and peace, rather than the fear and anxiety. So we are fostering our brain, we are making our brain being more reliant, we are making our brain being more resilient. We create resilience. And that is so powerful when we can see that just being present and just being mindful about how you go about life. And I will get into the tools of how, what it means to be present. What does it mean to actually start living that truth and changing your brain in that way? Understanding that this can actually physically change your life and how you see the world. Studies have shown that being mindful and practice of mindfulness enhances and thickens gray matter of the brain, which is responsible for focus, for learning, for emotional regulation as well. So as you can hear, thickening your gray matter by being present and by practicing mindfulness can actually make you more resilient. It can make you being a better learner. It can make you remember things better because it's responsible for memory as well. So not only you can be more productive, you can learn faster, you can become a better version of yourself through just this simple practice of mindfulness, of being present. Now, that is powerful because, again, our brain and how we think, how we see the world, how we can self-regulate, how we go about life, how focused we are on our goal, how focused we are on where we're heading in life, is directly responsible for what we can manifest into our life. And when I say manifest, we are constantly manifesting all the time. Every second of your life, of your day, you are manifesting. But the question is, what are you manifesting? What are you seeing in your life? If you look around in your life and you're not particularly happy or completely happy with what you see, practicing mindfulness and being present can absolutely change that for you, and it can change what you see around you. It can change the outcomes of you pursuing your goals, your dreams, pursuing those relationships, being in relationships. It can absolutely change that for you. Mindfulness also enhances and improves your brain efficiency. So when we are not distracted and we can focus better and we are more mindful with ourselves, our brain actually functions better, which then leads to our fulfillment. It leads to us being more calm. It leads to being able to do more, to go after that dream, to be present with your partner. When you are present, you are present and you are running your life rather than your life is running you. In today's world, in today's society, when we are exposed to so much distraction, you wake up in the morning, you grab your phone, and you are distracted. You are being flushed with all of those chemicals when you look at the news or you look what's happening in the world. If you think about it, we never had so much access to the distractions. We never had access to being exposed so much to all that's happening in the world. And today, in today's world, this is what we are being exposed to. And no wonder our anxiety and depression spikes. We never had so much suffering as a society. So mindfulness practice and being present in the moment can allow you to conquer, whether it's addiction, whether it's your relationship issues, whether it is your health. It allows you to be grounded. It allows you to come back to yourself, to your heart, to where you are heading, to what you actually want in life. It's powerful, powerful practice. So now let's move on to how you can start doing just that. So how can you start being present and what it means to be present? So being present is tuning into your breath. You can practice breath work, meditation, being in nature, and I always promote all these things because these are the tools that I use in my everyday life, and that's what allows me to be grounded. Even if I'm in the center of the hurricane in my life, even if I feel like completely overwhelmed by my external world. And let's be honest, we all have those factors coming from every angle in our life. This is how I keep myself grounded. This is how I keep myself safe. I keep telling myself I am safe. Everything is going to be okay. I am being guided. I am being supported. But to allow myself to tune into those feelings of safety, of gratitude, of hopefulness, of faith, I have to be present. For all of these practices, whether it's breath work, whether it's being in nature and just being. So essentially, being mindful and being present is being. It's not doing, it's being and tuning into your heartbeat. It's tuning into your breath. Is walking in the woods and feeling your feet in contact with the surface. It's feeling as your body moves. It's feeling the wind on your face or the sun on your face. It's feeling how your body is moving right here, right now. Is connecting to nature, is noticing and hearing birds singing and chirping in the background, or it's seeing the leaves and actually being with that experience and being in that moment. That is what being present. Of course, meditation is a big part of my life, and it has been for the last 5 years now. I've been meditating daily, with some moments of when I wasn't keeping my practice, but essentially I always go back to that, because that's where I can align myself with where I'm going. This is when I can answer my questions that I have for myself, tuning into my intuition. This is when I can get distance from the challenges that I'm seeing. This is where I can connect back to myself, to nature, grounding myself, aligning myself with where I'm heading. And in the midst of the challenges, the hurricane of my life, I can find peace and I can find that stillness. Breathwork is another one where you just connect to your breath. And being mindful, of course, what I promote and what I believe in is essentially what meditation to me means today is being in the meditative state throughout my day. So I have programmed my brain and I have changed my brain where I feel present all the time. I feel like, and I say all the time, of course, there are moments in life where the external takes over, and when we are faced with the challenges that are overwhelming and that emotions are skyrocketing, and I'm talking about the negative emotions, I'm talking about anxiety, fear, not feeling safe. Of course, we all will always go through those phases of things are just getting out of hand and things feel like they're so big and so overwhelming. But in those moments, and especially in those moments when we struggle, it's so important to tune back into the present, tune back into, I am safe, I have everything that I need, I am guided, I am supported, I know that I am resilient, I know that I can overcome any challenge that comes my way. But to remind yourself about your resilience, about you conquering the problems, and about you finding the solution to the issues or to the challenges that you are facing, it requires for you to be present. It requires for you to tune back into your body, connecting to yourself. Any practice of healing, any practice of being with yourself, any practice, whether it's shadow work, whether it is journaling, whether it is noticing your feelings, your triggers, noticing what actually is happening within me and why it's happening, allow yourself to go there, you have to be present. You have to fully embrace that whatever is happening to you in the given moment. And oftentimes when we talk about journaling in the evening and we sit down with ourselves and we want to honor our feelings and our emotions, especially in the moment of struggle in life, if you are present throughout the day and you keep noticing, and it doesn't mean that you have to then stop and be like, okay, what am I feeling right now, and do that work then. But by being present throughout your day, not only you are enhancing connections with those that you love or those people that you encounter, because when you are present and you are like kind of just soaking in the moment, you're soaking what they're saying to you, you are being with them. In today's world, this is rarity. People are so busy. Everyone is so in their heads that if you are being present with another human being, these people feel seen, they feel heard, they feel like they matter because you have given them your undivided attention. And I think that's the most beautiful thing that we can do for another human being, is to see them and be with them and be present in that conversation, in that meeting, in that encounter, in the coffee shop. That's so, so beautiful. So what I'm saying here is, like, when we are present throughout the day, it's so much easier to then pinpoint of what has triggered me today. What was the feeling that came up for me? Where is this anxiety coming from? And then when we can be and acknowledge our feelings and emotions, we can then start healing them, because in every feeling, in every emotion, and everything that happens within us, there is a beautiful, important information. There is information behind that, because that's how we can know thyself. That's how we can start learning, how do I see the world? What is the limiting belief behind that feeling, that thought that I had when I was interacting with this individual, or that triggered me, or whatever triggered me in my everyday life. And it's so beautiful to actually live your life in that. When I started practice mindfulness and being present, and what led me to do that was a book by Eckhart Tolle, being the power of present moment. I think I still have, well, I definitely have it here. Oh no, it wasn't. It was Jon Kabat-Zinn. That's the book, and it was the power of present moment. I have it in Polish, but that's how the cover looks like. And when I read this book for the first time, it was groundbreaking for me, because I never really thought about that in my life. I never thought, oh my God, like I am literally running around like headless chicken in my life. I have no idea what I feel. I don't have no idea. My brain was so scattered, so on override constantly. And when I started practicing mindfulness and being present 5 years ago, over the last 5 years, when I look back and I kind of reverse engineer that in my head, I realize how much more I've experienced in my life. I feel like those 5 years have been longer almost than the 30 years before that, because it feels like I've never been actually present. And I say 30 years, when we are children, yes, we are present, because as children, we don't have the conditioning yet. You see a child playing and they actually are so immersed in that activity, in that block or Lego play, and it's so beautiful to take example from our children. When we can see our children just being immersed in the creation, if what they're drawing or they're making something, they are fully immersed in that activity. And as children, we do that naturally. But as adults, we forget, because we get so busy in our head and so reactive to life, reactive to the environment. And we obviously, of course, create that story about ourselves. And then it's so easy to just get so busy with our heads today. So to be present, essentially, is such a simple practice, because it's just being mindful in what you do. Even eating, I used to would just kind of eat very fast, and I would just shove my food in my mouth. And today I'm very intentional when I eat. I eat in peace, in calm. There's no music, there's no distractions. I sit there on my own. If I eat on my own, I kind of just really feel the eating process. I chew, and I kind of really tune in, and I feel the gratitude of the fact that I have food. And it's so interesting, and studies show that you actually change how your food is received into your body and how it's processed in your body when depending on the energy behind it. So if you feel present and you feel gratitude for the food, versus you are stressed, you are rushing, you're just kind of eating on the go, the way the food is received, regardless of what the food is, the way the food is received is completely different. Now, so profound. That's so interesting. So tell me in the comments below, when are you present? Is it when you create? Is it when you are in nature? Is it when you are intentionally sitting down with yourself to meditate? Thank you for being here. Subscribe to this channel, share it with those that you love, and I can't wait to tune into you next week and connect with you again. Take care.